So let's do arithmetic, the questions based on arithmetic series, guys. Simple arithmetic series before we start with the sigma notation, right? Let's have this arithmetic series saying that the first three terms of an arithmetic pattern are -5, 2, and 9. All right. So these are the first three terms of an arithmetic pattern. Write down the next two terms of the pattern. What are the next two terms of the pattern, guys?
The 16 and 23.
Yes, it's 16 and 23. I don't know why you guys are quiet. So this is 16 and 23. And then now 2.1.2. Show that the sum of the first n terms of this pattern is given by Sn is equals to half of 7n minus 1. Show that this sum is given by this value here. How can we find that out? What do you think is the best way? Yes, yes, Oliver?
So don't you do sigma notation?
No. They never said anything about sigma notation. We haven't gotten anywhere near that. They say show that the sum of the first n terms. We're still just talking about the sum, like S. That's the sum that we're talking about. We're gonna introduce how does a sigma notation work. If they didn't instruct you to express something in a sigma notation, don't mention it at all. Just show that the sum can be expressed in this equation or in this way. Let's see, how can you guys show that?
So do you find the general solution?
And guys, what have you been doing with Mr. Mkono? Yes, Vandisile.
So I think we should substitute the value of A and the value of D into the formula of the sum.
Yes, because this is an arithmetic, guys. When we're talking about the sum of an arithmetic series, guys, I've already told you that the general term or the general expression that we use to refer to our sum, if it's an arithmetic sequence, or we can just say the arithmetic sequence or the pattern itself, it is equals to n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d, because we've been told that this is an arithmetic pattern. All right, now we just need to substitute our values, okay, unique to this pattern, because you can see that for us to be able to get this expression, we must substitute the values that are unique to this pattern. Okay, for our pattern, guys, they say show that the sum of the first n terms, so it means that where there is n, you won't substitute anything else. Okay, but you definitely know the value of A for this pattern. You definitely know the value of D for this pattern. Okay, let's see what is the value of A for this pattern, guys.
-5.
It's -5. What about D? What is the constant difference or the common difference?
It's 7.
It's what? 7, right? Yes.
-7.
-7. Okay, let's see, is it matching? If you say term 2 minus term 1, that is going to be 2 minus -5. Okay, that's +7. You guys should be very careful. Like it's term 2 minus term 1. Okay, so this is 2 minus -5. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Yes, so this is 2 minus. So the minus is because you are subtracting the terms, but you are subtracting -5. So this will be 2 plus 5, which will give you 7. So here, this is going to be 7. The difference between these two is going to be 7. The difference between 9 and 2 is also going to be +7. So we have a constant difference, which is 7. You just substitute it into the formula, guys, because this one is a simple one. That is why I say we're going to start with a simple one, then we go complex slowly. If you substitute the value of A, the value of A is -5, of course. And then if you substitute the value of D, the value of D is +7. Yes, Bandisile?
So I wanted to ask, since they do not give us the number of terms, how come they say it's 1 there?
Where?
Where you circled with red, you highlighted, it shows that the sum is 1/2.
1/2 is the same thing as saying n/2. Okay, this is 1/2 times n. Do you notice that from this expression? It's 1/2 times n. Yes. So this is the same thing as saying n/2.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys just simplify this. This is gonna be n/2 into -10. Then this is gonna be minus, you distribute the 7, guys. When you put a minus, you put a bracket, remember. So don't make a mistake there. Okay, well, this is on, there's a plus here, so there's a plus there. Okay, if you distribute your 7, that is just going to give you what? That's gonna give you plus 7n minus 7. You just distribute this 7 into this bracket of n minus 1, and then you guys will just simplify this. Therefore, your Sn can be written as 1/2n into 7n. If you say minus 10 minus 7, you're gonna get minus 17. So you've expressed that the general term for this series, this arithmetic pattern, or you can say it's an arithmetic series. Let's just call it an arithmetic pattern for now. Then this is going to be it. 3 marks. Is that difficult, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, let's do this one. It's not really that much higher order. It's an arithmetic series. So now they say here, given the arithmetic series, it becomes a series, guys, when there is a plus sign that is separating the terms. Okay, so it becomes a series. We usually call it a series when you find these plus terms that are separating the what, the terms here, the values of the terms. So if we get here, we have got 5 plus 7. So we've got 5 plus 7 plus 9, and then you continue until plus 93. Now 2.1.1 says, determine the general term of the series Tn in the form of Tn is equals to Pn plus Q. So we are given a series and then they want the general term. Is it going to be difficult to find, guys, the general term?
No, sir.
Okay, how are we going to find it?
You have to know that the P, on the formula that is given, represents the A value, which is 5.
Okay.
Okay, before doing that, you have to substitute your values. We have a common difference and we have the value of A.
Yes.
So we have to get the general formula.
We just solve the general formula here. So the value of A is 5, then the common difference here will be 2. It's like 7 minus 5 is 2, 9 minus 7 is 2. Okay, so this is gonna be 2. So to find your general formula Tn, you just say Tn is equals to A plus n minus 1 times d. Then you substitute your values. This is simple for you guys. I wish I could skip this to make things faster. And then this is n minus 1 times the common difference, which is 2. Then you just do your algebra there. This is gonna be 5 plus 2n minus 2. You distribute the 2 inside, and then if you add up the like terms, which is 5 minus 2, you're gonna get positive 3. So this will be 2n minus 3. That is your Tn. Okay, this is 2n minus 3. That's 2 marks.
What?
Yes, fellow. Yes.
What if I use that formula to find the general formula?
Which one?
Tn plus Q.
Okay, how would you use it? Let's hear.
P will be my difference.
Okay, you say that P is your difference.
Yes.
Okay, and then your Q, what would it be?
No, I'm going to find Q. So I will say N is going to be my first difference and Tn is going to be 5.
Okay. Yeah, you can still do the same thing, still the same thing, literally the same thing. But yeah, usually the conversion that we use this way to find it using the first term, but you can still use this general one by substituting the values. Still also okay, Jalifelo. So this is 2.1.1.
Yes, sir.
Now 2.1.2 now it says this is English, it's no longer maths. The given series represents the number of kilometers that an athlete ran each week in preparation of an ultramarathon. The athlete ran 93 kilometers in the last week of the training program. How long in weeks was the training program? Now you have to apply. Okay, I don't know which province was giving out these question papers last year, but in 2025, this is one of your provinces, probably Gauteng, because Gauteng likes asking English questions in maths. Tell us, Gauteng kids, how can we be able to attempt this question?
Sir,
Yes, Oliver.
sir, can I try and guess?
Okay, you can try.
So isn't it we have the last term, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you not like put it in the formula, like the general formula, right? And then you're gonna get the number of terms, and then you're gonna use Sn is equals to n over 2 a plus l, and then you find n.
Okay, I said you can try, but don't you don't guess. You just try. It's fine. It means you ignored all the other statements and you just went to the TN straightforward. But you were getting there. Let's hear from Sam.
So far, sir, a statement kahle sesizama ukusitshela ukuthi u-93 lonana it's the TN. Therefore, we need to substitute this TN kuleya general formula esiyitholile.
Okay, all right, yeah, but for some people they wouldn't understand because it says how long here. Like, what does this have to do with weeks and time? Yes, Bandisile.
The reason why they say it's weeks because in the first week it's gonna be 5, the second week it's gonna be 7. In short, it means that the number of weeks is the number of terms.
Yes, guys, this is an application question, and you should see you guys are ignoring the entire paragraph and you just want to substitute. Yes, it's fine, you can do that and get the answer, but you guys to an extent need to understand what the statement is saying. The statement says that the given series is representing the number of kilometers that are being run by an athlete. So these TN values that we are having here, these are the number of kilometers that are being run. And then now they say the athlete ran 93 kilometers in the last week. That is why our last term here of the series is 93, to show that it's 93 kilometers at the end. Okay, so basically remember guys that for us to have our series or our sequence, we need to have the value of n, which is the position. We need to have the value of tn, which is the value. So the n is telling you the position, and the position it is tn, the given pattern, which is 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus until plus 93. Okay, and then now the n value, it is the position. So 5 it is on position number 1, 7 is position 2, 9 is position 3, and then until it happens, until we reach the last position, which I'm just going to say n. Now they tell us that this Tn is representing the number of kilometers, because they say that the series that we are given, this series is the number of kilometers. Okay, so this Tn, it is the same thing as saying this is the what? The number of kilometers that the athlete is running. So these are the number of kilometers that the athlete is running. So he ran 93 kilometers in the last week. Now the n here, it is representing the number of weeks that this athlete ran. So this is the number of what? the number of weeks, because our statement is telling us that this is an athlete. So an athlete ran 93 kilometers in the last week. So the last week we don't actually know what week is it. So that's why they are saying how long in weeks. So we are solving for n, the position. Yeah. Do you guys kind of get the application of this?
Yes.
Yes, guys, this maths that you're doing, you're not just doing for the sake of cramming and solving problems and solving questions. No, you are doing it so that you can apply it at some point in time. Okay, so here, when you just do that, to find n, you already know that the general formula is Tn is equals to 2n minus 3. So you can just say here, where there is Tn, you're gonna put 93, which is the number of kilometers that was the last kilometer that was ran. It was 93 kilometers last week. Okay, so here we know that this is 93. It is our Tn value is equals to 2n minus 3, as this suggests, and then you solve for n here. You transpose through on the other side. 90 is equals to 2n. You divide by 2 on both sides, you get that 90 divided by 2 is equals to 45. So n is equals to 45 in weeks, because they say how long in weeks. So this athlete was running 45 weeks. Okay, let's see 2.1.3 now. When you go to 2.1. Okay, yes, Pandisile.
So the formula says 2n minus 3. When you transport the negative 3, isn't it? You add on the other side.
Oh, you're gonna add. Oh, it's fine. Do you notice that? Okay, you're gonna add 93 plus 3 will give you 96. Then you divide 96 by 2. What is 96 divided by 2?
It's 48.
48. So 96 divided by 2 will give you 48 weeks there. Just a bit of a mistake there. So this training program was valid for 48 weeks. So this is now applying it, guys. You apply this. This is not just pure maths for fun. You will use it whatever course that you do in varsity. That's why you are in the sciences stream. Okay, so make sure that you understand it and its applications. No, don't just cram it for the sake of solving problems and passing an exam. So 2.1.3, the athlete used this opportunity. So the athlete used this opportunity to raise funds for her high school. So as she was running, she said that she will start raising some funds for her high school. The community sponsored her 10 rand for each kilometer run. So it means that when she was running each and every kilometer, she was sponsored 10 rand by the community during the training program. Calculate the total amount that the athlete raised for her school. Let's hear from Yonela.
I'm not answering 2.1.3. I have a question go 2.1.1. Kula formula says uchu I got a positive 3.
Okay, we'll go to positive 3. Oh yeah, 4. Damn, guys. Hey, yeah, what this thing of rushing mathematics? Yes, it's positive 3 there. Why didn't you guys correct me here? Here, 5 minus 2 is positive 3 there. So this is plus 3. This is still gonna be 90. So 45 was the correct answer in the wrong way at first. It was still 45 weeks there. Did you guys see the mistake that I did there? Yeah. It's just a mistake with the signs. No, I'm getting old, guys. Hey, 5 minus 2 is positive 3 there. Okay, now let's see the ones that will answer the question. Let's start with Sam.
Well, sir, so far, bathi angithi uraise ama-funds therefore basipha imali like per fund azoyenza, therefore so far mangicheck i-question,
Yes,
mangicheck i-question izofuna sicalculate u-SN because bathi uses the sum of arithmetic sequence meters that she ran. Bafuna the sum formula of the series.
Yes, it's a sum. Why did you say it's a sum? Because obviously she's getting like these 10 runs each and every time when she runs. Okay, each and every time. Oh, okay, for each kilometer, Njal. For each and every kilometer, not for each and every week. For each and every kilometer that she runs, she get 10 runs. Okay, so she runs 5 kilometers at first, so it means she already has 50 rand. But we can just use a formula to calculate that without stressing about all of this. Okay, we can just use we can just use the sum formula to kind of sum up and try to see if we add these 10 rands for each kilometer run, what will we get? So what are we gonna say? What sum are we gonna get here, Sam? The sum of what?
So we are going to get the sum of the last term, sir.
The sum of 45 weeks. We want to try and see how many kilometers did she run first, so that you can find out how much money she gets. Because we definitely know that she ran 5 kilometers in the first week. She ran another 7 in the second week. She ran 9 kilometers in the third week. Then she ran 93 kilometers in the last week. Guys, never make a misinterpretation. This 93 kilometers is not the total number of kilometers that she ran. No, it is the number of kilometers that she ran in the last week. So when we add up all the kilometers that she ran from week 1 until the last week, which we solved here, which is 45 weeks, how many kilometers are they? We need to first find that number of kilometers, so that you can at least find out each and every kilometer, since she was getting 10 rand, what is the total amount that you'll be able to raise. So here you're not finding the sum of the money, you are finding the sum of the kilometers, because here whatever a pattern that you are given here, it is showing you the number of kilometers. Are you guys able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the sum of 45 kilometers, it means that here 45 weeks, Jan, we want to see how many kilometers did she run. We already know that the general formula, let's just write the general formula for the sum of an arithmetic sequence. It's Sn is equals to n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, or you can say that Sn is equals to n over 2 into a plus l. Which one do you guys want to use to calculate the sum?
The one with the last term.
Yes, you can use this one, guys. You can use both of them, but this one in this case is more easier to use because we know that 93 is the last term of this series. So I'm just going to say, Mina, the sum of 45 weeks or 45 terms in this case will give me, where there is n, I'm going to put 45 then over 2 into the first term here. It is 5. Is 5 kilometers. Then the last term is what? Is 93, because remember that the second formula, it uses the last term, which is 93. You just punch that into your calculator. What is the sum of the 45 terms?
2,205.
205. And this is the sum of what, guys? What is the sum like in this realistic? Is it the sum? Is it the total number of weeks? Is it the total number of runs that she has, or is this the total number of kilometers?
Total number of kilometers.
Yes. So it means that in total, this girl she ran 2,205 kilometers in total, because she ran 5 at first. She ran 7 at second, she ran 9. You keep on adding them until the last week, which was the 45th week, okay, where she ran 93 kilometers. So do you see, guys, that this is something that you can apply in realistic terms? It's not just something that you you just cram. So we know that this is the total number of kilometers that she ran through the training program. Now my question is, how are we going to find the total amount of money that she raised?
We are going to multiply the total kilometers by 10.
Yes, we're going to multiply the total kilometers by 10 because we know that each and every kilometer she was getting 10 rand and she ran 2,205 kilometers. So to find the total amount that she got, which will be our conclusion, the total amount is to be 10 times the 2,205 kilometers because each and every kilometer she was getting 10 rands. So for 2,205 kilometers, we know that she will get how many rands here? We just did a 0. 22,050. Yes. So she will be able to raise 22,050 rands for her community, for her school, of course. Do you guys see this? Yes. Simple, guys. Simple, very simple. Okay. Let's just look at this one before we get to how to express this in a sigma notation. Is there any higher order question here? Not really. Not really. Okay. Okay, what if you are given an equation for the sum? For example, this one, it says the sum of the first n terms of an arithmetic series is given by Sn is equals to 4n squared plus 6n. Okay, so the sum of the first n terms of a certain arithmetic series that we don't know, it is given by 4n squared plus 6n. Determine the first 3 terms of the series. Determine the first 3 terms of the series. How can I attempt this? The sum of the first n terms. So we know that the sum of the first n terms is 4n squared plus 6n. So we have the formula for finding the sum of a certain number of terms given by n. So now the question is, what is the first 3 terms of the series? How can you find the first 3 terms of the series? Yes, Sam?
Well, to find the first 3 terms, we need to use the formula, which is Gn is equals to Sn minus Sn minus.
Yes, that's one way. Let's hear from Mandisile.
So I wanted to say the simplest way to do it is to substitute the value of n in the formula. The number of terms. For the first value, we're gonna say where there's n, substitute 1.
Hey, okay. That's a method we'll say about it. Let's hear Orifa.
No, so I just want to ask
Yes, Orifa.
So can you please explain that formula? I just want to understand the formula.
Okay, don't worry, we'll get to that. Okay, so let's correct Bandisile first. Guys, here we're looking for the first 3 terms of the series. This equation that you are given, guys, it is the equation for finding the sum. It is not the same thing as Tn. Remember, guys, that Tn, it is the general term. For example, if I say that my Tn is equals to 2n minus 1, this is the general term for finding each and every number. So if I say n is equals to 1, I'm going to find term number 1. For example, if I say term number 1, I substitute 1 where there is n. I'm going to get 2 minus 1, which will be equal to 1. So it means that this is my first term. And then the second term, I would say 2 times 2 minus 1, which will be equals to 3. And then the third term and so forth, I do the same thing. I substitute 3, and then 2 times 3 minus 1 will give me 5. This is how you find the terms in an arithmetic sequence if you know the general term. So Tn is for finding the general term. It is for finding what is the value of the term at a certain position. For example, when the position is 1, you substitute 1 here where there is n, you get the value. When the position is 2, you substitute 2 here where there is n, you get the value, and so on and so forth. But here, the equation that you are given, it is Sn is equals to 4n squared plus 6n. This is not the same thing as Tn. The Sn, guys, it is used to calculate the sum of a certain number of terms. So here, if they say determine the first 3 terms of the series, you are supposed to use Tn if you are provided with Tn. But if you are not provided with Tn, you have to find other ways. But you cannot substitute n is equals to 1 into this formula, for the mere fact that if you substitute n is equals to 1, you are finding the sum, not the value of the term. For example, if I say S2, I'm trying to say the sum of the first 2 terms. And I say where there is n, I put 2 plus 6 times 2. Whatever answer that I'm going to get here, it will be the sum of the first 2 terms of the arithmetic series if I add those 2 terms. Okay. So we kind of know how to differentiate between the sum and the general term. The general term just tells us what is the value of the terms that we're having. But the sum, it is adding up a certain number of terms. Let's hear Sam.
Well, sir, I was saying in the lega Andy, in order to use the formula sir, you need to do that, like S number 1 is equal, and then you substitute 1 into, and therefore after the answers to 12 you use it towards the formula ngayo.
Okay, so Osem says that we're gonna use the formula that says Sn. For you to get An, you use Sn minus Sn minus 1. Have you guys ever heard of this formula? Tn njalo. This is Tn is equals to Sn minus Sn minus 1. Do you guys know this formula? Okay, let's try to see how it works and why it works. I'll make an example. Yes, Bandisile?
I wanted to ask the reason why I said I'm going to substitute the value of 1 and 2 and 3 on the end. It is because I know that T1 is equals to S1. Then when I substitute the second value, I'm going to get the sum of the first 2 terms. Then I will subtract the value that I got when I substituted 1. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, okay, definitely. But the problem is that you terminated your statement on the substitution part and you didn't proceed and mention the other things. So I thought you would just substitute 1 and assume you found the answer.
No, I just wanted to make things easier for myself.
All right, cool. Okay, let's see, guys, this formula, where it comes from. Because or if I was asking where does this formula come from and why does it work? Let's see. We want to explain this formula that says Tn is Sn minus Sn minus 1. I want you guys to pay very close and careful attention to this explanation because you are likely not gonna get it anywhere else. Okay, so now let's take this example. Please look carefully, Oliver and everyone else. We have got this example of an arithmetic series, right, with a constant difference of 2. The first term of the arithmetic series being 1, and then the second one being 3, the third one being 5, the fourth one being 7. Are you guys able to see this arithmetic series that we have?
First, this is an example.
Yes, it's an example. I just want to express this and try to show you where this formula came from or why does this formula always work. Okay. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So guys, if I say I want to find the sum of the first 4 terms in this arithmetic series, it means I want to add up 4 terms in this arithmetic series, the first 4 terms in this arithmetic series, meaning that the first term is 1, plus the second term is 3, plus the third term is 5, plus the fourth term is 7. So these are 4 terms of the same arithmetic series, and I'm adding them up. And if I add that up, we already said that this is going to be 1 plus 3, which is 4, plus 5, which is 9, and 9 plus 7, which will give us 16. So the sum of the first 4 terms that I'm highlighting here in red, it is 16. So when we add all of them, we get what? We get 16. Okay, what if, guys, I want to add the first 3 terms in the same series? Which terms am I going to add? Which numbers am I going to add? Let's say I want to find the sum of 3 terms. What am I going to add?
1, 3, 5.
Yes, I'm going to add 1 plus 3 plus 5. So I'm going to add 1 plus 3 plus 5. Only the first 3 terms. So if I want to find S3, or if I want to find the sum of 3 terms, I'm only going to add the first 3 terms, and I'm going to exclude this 7. Do you notice that, guys? If I add the first 3 terms, which is 1 plus 3 plus 5, I'm going to exclude term 7, this fourth term, which is equals to 7. Do you guys notice that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so I'm excluding term 4. Okay, when I'm finding the sum of the first 3 terms, I'm just adding 1 plus 3 plus 5. And 1 plus 3 plus 5, it will give me what? It will give me 9. Okay, yes, Sam, what's your question?
In other words, as 3 is like T1 plus T2 plus 3 T3.
Yes, S3, that's the meaning of a sum, guys. Sum means that you are adding the terms. You are adding the first term, you are adding the second term, you are adding the third term. Do you guys kind of see that? Do you guys see that or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the sum of the first 3 terms, let me just write with the corresponding color as well. So the sum of the first 3 terms here, we find out that it is equals to what? It is equals to 9. Okay, so guys, you need to understand one thing about subtraction. These boxes, I think you need to pay careful attention to them when I explain this concept. So if we add all the terms of this series, we are adding the 4 terms, which gives us 16, the sum of the 4 terms. But if we only add the first 3 terms and we exclude the 7, we get 9. So basically, in other ways, it means that if I say the sum of the 4 terms, this sum of the 4 terms, minus the sum of these 3 terms, I'm going to remain with what? With 7, because 7 is the only thing that is left out. Okay, like if you pay careful attention to what I'm saying right now and look carefully on the boxes the way I drew them. The sum of the 4 terms is the one that I've highlighted in red, the one that I've made a red box for. So this is the sum of the 4 terms, giving me 16. Okay, and then I say that if I do the sum of the first 3 terms, meaning that I'm just only adding 1 plus 3 plus 5, these are the sum of the first 3 terms, it means that I'm going to exclude the 7. Okay, when I do the sum of the first 3 terms, I exclude this 7, which is term number 4, right? So in other ways, if I say this sum of the 4 terms, the first sum of the 4 terms, if I say this first sum of the 4 terms, subtract the sum of the 3 terms, I'm going to get the remaining term, which is what? Which is term 7. Do you guys kind of get the sense in that way?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so basically it's the same thing as saying that if I have got the sum of the first 3 terms, and it's 1 plus 3 plus 5, that's the sum of the first 3 terms, it gives me 9. For me to get the sum of the 4 terms, I need to add the 7 again. That will give me 16. Then I'll be able to get 16. So in other ways, I can say with Nothing, for me to get this remaining term, which is 7, okay, I have to do what? I have to say the sum of the 4 terms minus the sum of the 3 terms. This will definitely get me what? This will definitely get me term 4. Do you guys kind of see the sense? Or maybe if you want to write it in another way so that you don't get confused, maybe you guys are getting confused by this expression. Okay, in simple terms, we can just make a mathematical statement from this and say, if I've got the sum of the first 3 terms and I add the 4th term, I'm going to get what? I'm going to get the sum of the 4 terms. If you can understand it in this way, in this case, if you add 1 plus 3 plus 5, you are going to get 9. This is the sum of the 3 terms. For me to get the sum of the 4 terms, I must add this 7, which is term 4. Okay, or we can put it practically, guys. You can see practically here we've got a sum of the 4 terms and sum of the 3 terms. If I subtract them the way I did here, if I subtract and say the sum of the 4 terms minus the sum of the first 3 terms, it means that I'm excluding this 7. If I do that practically and I say that the sum of the 4 terms minus the sum of the 3 terms, let's see what I get. In this case, the sum of the 4 terms is 16, the sum of the 3 terms is 9. 16 minus 9 will give me what? 7. So 7 is the remaining term. This 7, guys. So basically, for me to get the remaining term, I can just take the sum of the entire 4 terms minus the sum of the 3 terms, then I'll get this one, this 7, this last term. Yes, Sam, what's your question?
So say I'm incorrect if I say S4 minus S4 minus 1.
Okay, now we'll get to how that works. You are correct. But now we'll get to see why do you have to say that? Let's see, guys. At this point, do we understand this remaining term, which is 7 here? This remaining term that is not in these 2 boxes, I can get it by just saying the sum of the entire 4 terms, which is 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7, right? Minus the sum of the first 3 terms, which is 1 plus 3 plus 5. Then I'll get this 7, which is the remaining term. Can you guys agree on that from this sequence? From the series, I mean.
Yes, sir.
Or can you agree to that?
So what are we agreeing to?
I'm saying, can we agree if we say the sum of these 4 terms minus the sum of the 3 terms, we are going to get this remaining term, which is 7.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So basically, in other ways, if I just wanted to write it in a general way, I can just say, for this example, to get term 4, I can just say the sum of the 4 terms minus the sum of the 3 terms. In this case, it's 16 minus 9. I get the 7 that's remaining. Now, I want to make this to be a general thing, because this doesn't only apply to this arithmetic series. It applies to all arithmetic series. If I make another example and I say that I've got this series that says 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is an arithmetic series with this is just a sequence for now with a constant difference of 1. Do you guys see it? This is an arithmetic sequence with a constant difference of 1. If I say I'm adding up these terms, how many terms are in this series?
5.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're having 5 terms in this series. So if I say the sum of these 5 terms, this is going to be 2 plus 3, which is 5, plus 4, which is 9, plus 5, which is 14, plus 6, which will give me 20. So if I add 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, I get 20. That's the sum of the 5 terms. What if I say I want to exclude the 20 and just add the sum of the 4 terms? The sum of the first 4 terms, meaning that I'm going to add 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, and I'm excluding the 6. If I say the sum of the 4 terms, guys, there, I'm going to say 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. What am I going to get? 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 5 is 14. Do you guys see that I get 14?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, here I got 14 when I excluded what? I got 14 when I excluded this last term, which is term number what? Term number 5, right? So basically, if I say the sum of the 5 terms minus the sum of the 4 terms, I'm going to get the term that I excluded, which is what? Which is 6. So if you do that literally here, this is going to be the sum of the 5 terms minus the sum of the 4 terms. And if you substitute, that's going to be 20 minus 14, which will give you 6. And this 6 is the exact same thing that you have as the term that you excluded. Do you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Orifa, are you seeing it? I don't know if Orifa is still there. She's the one that asked the question. Orifa, are you seeing it?
I said yes.
Okay, awesome. Yes, you must agree. I want you guys to observe what I'm trying to do here. So, guys, here this is mathematics. We generalize things. You don't write everything with numbers because you don't always know the numbers. All right. So here, basically, you can see the trend here, guys. Uti. Basically, here, the sum that I begin with is the sum of 4 terms, and I subtract the sum of 3 terms. Right. So now, what is the relationship between 4 and 3 in this way? What's the relationship between 4 and 3? Okay, let's just say it's minus 1. For us to get 3, we need to say 4 minus 1, right?
Yes.
In the same way as the other example that I did, guys, here we've got sum of 5 terms, here we've got sum of 4 terms. The relationship here is 5 and 4 because it's like when we add 4 terms and then on the other side we subtract 3 terms, we get the 4th. Okay, and when we add 5 terms, we subtract 4 terms, we get the 5th term. So that's why I say that here our term 4, we got it by saying sum of the 4 terms minus sum of the 3 terms. Now, one thing that you will realize here, that you'll notice, is that here, if I now use letters to represent it and I say that Tn, so instead of saying 4, I'm just going to say n to say generally it can be any other number of terms besides 4. It can apply to any other number of terms besides 4. So I'm going to say Tn.
Can no longer.
Yes, Pandisile. Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, so we're here, guys. Now we're now just going to use letters. We are no longer going to use numbers to represent this. So we're going to have Tn here. So here, this is going to be S. So on S here, I'm going to write Sn because you guys can see that here, these numbers are corresponding. It's more like here, if we want to find term 4, we have to start with the sum of 4 terms. Okay, for us to find term 4, we start with the sum of 4 terms minus the sum of 3 terms. So here, if we say that we want to find term n, Tn, so we're going to start with sum of what? Of n terms. We're going to start with the sum of n terms minus what now? Minus the sum of n minus 1 terms. Hey, this is where you guys need to pay very careful attention here. So guys, basically you guys need to get used to using the n's and the n minus 1. Guys, if our position is 4, if our term position, if n is equals to 4, what is going to be 3 in terms of n? If n is equals to 4, what is 3 in terms of n? So I'm just trying to say that if I say that n is the same thing as saying 4, if I want to express 3 using this variable which is n, what can I do? Or what do I do to the 4 so that I can get 3? That's the simplest way of asking it. Yes, Yango.
N minus 1.
Yes, n minus 1. For me to get this 3, I say 4 minus 1. In this case, my 4 is n. Okay, so basically that's the trend here. That's the trend. So whenever I have n here, because here I'm saying sum of the first 4 terms minus sum of the first 3 terms. So it's more like I'm saying if my n is 4 here, for me to get a U3, I have to say 4 minus 1, which is n minus 1. Okay, that is why this formula is like this. Or if do you kind of get it?
So I understand.
Yeah. Hey guys, tricky, but you need to try analyze it from all perspectives. I even made diagrams here. All right. Yeah. So basically, this formula exists, guys. You use this formula if you know the sum. So if you know the sum of n terms and you know the sum of n minus 1 terms, then you can be able to get Tn in that way. Okay. Here, what do we have? We are looking for the first 3 terms of the series, right? We're looking for the first 3 terms of the series. So we are looking for term 1. So if I want to get term 1 here, I have to use the sum of 1 term minus, okay, let me just write the formula. Oh, you can see the formula here, guys. So here where there is n, I'm going to substitute 1. So this is sum of 1 term minus sum of 1 minus 1 term. What am I doing here, guys? I'm simply substituting 1 where there is n. Here where there is n, I substitute 1. Here where there is n, I substitute 1. Do you guys notice that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so this is the same thing as saying that, okay, S1 minus 1 is the same thing as saying sum of 0 terms. And sum of 0 terms, you're not adding anything per se. Okay, so we can just say here, my term 1 will be the sum of 1 term. Okay, even realistically, guys, if we take this series, for example, this series is 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7. Okay, so if I say, what is term 1, guys? Give me what is term 1 from this series, my example. What is term 1?
1.
It is 1. Give me the sum of 1 terms here. What is the sum of 1 term? If you add the 1 term, the sum of the first 1 term, what do you get?
1.
It is still 1 as well, guys. Obviously, you haven't added anything on it, so the sum is the term itself. That's the first thing that you have. Yes, Yangoba.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, aren't you going to the formula on top and just substitute 1 if you want the first term and the second term substitute 2?
Yes, now you have to do that. I'm sure now we now know that term 1 is the sum of 1 term. And now using your formula, the general formula for finding the sum is Sn, which is equals to 4n squared plus 6n. Where there is n, you put 1 to find the sum of 1 term. Because this is you substituting 1 where there is n. So this is now going to be 4 times 1 squared plus 6 times 1. 4 times, this is going to be just 4 basically. 4 plus 6 will give you 10. So the first term is 10. To find the second term, use the same technique, guys. To find term 2. Term 2 is not the same thing as the sum of 2 terms. No. Guys, for example here, if you look at my example, which is the reference, term 2 is not the same as the sum of the first 2 terms. If I say term 2 here, I'm talking about 3. In this example of mine, term 2 is 3. But the sum of the first 2 terms is 1 plus 3, which is S2, which will give me 4. So term 2 and S2 is not the same thing. Never make it the same thing. But use this formula. Use this formula that makes it simple. Sn minus Sn minus 1. So where there is n, I'm just going to put 2. So this is S2 minus S2 minus 1. So where there is n, I put 2 because I want term 2 anish. My position n is 2 at that point. Okay. And then now all I do is substitute. Okay, this is S2 minus 1, so it's more like this is sum of the 1 term. So S2 minus S1. How can I get the S2, guys? Let me just substitute here. How can I get the S2 using this formula? How can I get the S2 and the S1? Oh, the S1 I already have, it is 10. I'm sure S1, we already found out that when you substitute 1 here, we get 10. What about S2? How can you find S2?
You substitute the value of 2
Yes. So we substitute now the value of 2 where there is n to find the sum of the two terms. So here where there is n, I'm going to substitute 2. So this is going to be 4 times 2 squared plus 6 times 2. This will give me 4 times 4 plus 12. Okay. And 16 plus 12 will give me what? 28, right? So 16 plus 12 will give me 28. So this is just S2 minus S1. My S1 is 10. So this is 28 minus 10, which will give me 18. So my term 2 is 18. You do the same for term 3, guys. You guys now know the formula. Term 3 is equals to the sum of 3 terms minus the sum of 2 terms. You guys already now see the trend, right? Is it visible, guys, the trend now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You just say to find term 3 is the sum of 3 terms minus the sum of 2 terms. You guys now see the trend, so it becomes easy. This rain. Okay. So now let's just substitute our values. We can be able to. Okay, wait, let me just take my pen. So to find S3, where there is n, I'm going to substitute 3 where there is n. So this is just going to give me what? This is just going to be 4 times 3 squared plus 6 times 3 minus S2. I already found it. S2, I already found it in this process where I substituted 2 where there's n. I found that my S2 is 28. So I'm just going to say minus 28. Is it fine, guys?
Yes.
So what is going to be my term 3 in that way? Just punch it all in the calculator.
26, sir.
What?
26.
26. So these are the first 3 terms. So we can say that our term 1 is 10, term 2 is 18, term 3 is 26. And you will see that this is an arithmetic sequence. It's a series indeed. Okay. Because they have a common difference in a constant difference, which is 8. So do you guys now understand how this formula works?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Let's just complete this exercise. This exercise is only a couple of marks, but we've been spending hours on simple exercises now. I thought we'll be done by this series, but it's fine. 2.1.2, because this was 2.1.1. Let's see 2.1.2. The last term of the series is 58. So the last term of the series is 58. It's more like this is our Tn. Now, how many terms are there in the series? The last term of the series is 58. How many terms are there in the series? How do you guys plan on finding out?
So
Yes.
So you said how do we find the terms, right?
Yes.
So if it was me, right, I would just take the usual formula and find the terms, or I would use the Sn is equal to n over 2a plus l formula.
Yes, you can use either one of them. Yeah. Okay, so here, guys, now they say the last term is 58. So we start from 10. That's the first term. And then the last term is 58. Yes, Sam?
how come they use SN formula? Therefore, equation unity UTN, sir.
The last term of the series is 58. You are given UTN. Now you can never use the SN formula. We can only use the TN formula because we are given the last term, particularly the TN value of the last term is 58. So here we're just gonna come here and say, if we know that the last term is 58, we need to find its position. But for us to do that, we need to find the general term. So you guys just gonna use the normal way. Find the difference is 8. The constant difference there is 8. You guys can see 26 minus 18 is 8. 18 minus 10 is 8. And then the first term is 10. So you're just gonna say Tn is equals to A plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, if you find the general term, you will definitely be able to find how many terms are there in total. You substitute A and D there. So Tn will be equals to 10 plus 8n minus 8. What do we get? 10 minus 8 plus 2. Yes. So Tn will be 8n plus 2. Okay, and then you now find the position of this 58. This 58, since it's the last term, what is its position? Because if we find the position of the last term, that is the number of terms in the series. So we're just gonna say 58. We substitute it in place of Tn is equals to 8n plus 2. You transpose the 2 on the other side, is 58 minus 2 will become 56 is equals to 8n. You divide both sides by 8. 56 divided by 8 will give us
n is equals to 7.
7, yes. So basically we have 7 terms. We have 7 terms in this arithmetic series. So you can just continue adding 8 from this 26 until you reach 7 terms. You will definitely land at 58. Do you guys see how easy this is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So we need to now go to the sigma notation now. We need to now know, how do you write a series in a sigma notation? Let's see if I still have space here. Okay. All right. So guys, now you now know how to make the sum, you guys now know how to make the sum arithmetic series. Now we need to know how to represent that on a sigma notation. So basically the sigma notation has got 3 things. You guys need to know the elements of a sigma notation. So this sigma notation, this symbol sigma, it is used to show that we are doing a sum, or we are adding a certain number of things. So here, ahead of the sigma notation, we write the general term that we are adding. Then here below, we are going to write the value of n, which is the term position. What is the lowest position that we started, guys? What is the first position that we started?
It's 1.
It is 1. So we always start with 1 here at the bottom. Less likely for you to start with 0, but we'll explain later on why. And then here on top, what is the last value, or what is the last position that we have? What do we call the last position in a series?
Infinity, sir.
It is n. Hey guys, we haven't reached infinite series. Okay, these are still your basic arithmetic series. So these are the symbols that we use. So basically here, if I've got, for example, let me just say I give you this arithmetic sequence. Let's just take a sequence and say this is 3, 5, 7, 9. You guys can manually add these numbers and say 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 7 is 17, and 17 plus 9, you're going to get a 26 there, right? So you know that the sum of these terms is 26. Is it confirmed, guys? My calculations, is it really 26?
So 8 plus 7 is 15. It's gonna be 24.
Yeah, definitely it's gonna be 24. Okay, so this is gonna be 24, right? So we know that the sum here, this 24, it is the sum of the first 4 terms. So the proper notation that we use will say this is the sum of the 4 terms. So how can you represent the sum of the 4 terms to say that it is 24 using a sigma notation? The first thing that you need to get, it is the Tn. You need to get the general term. So you need to get the general term, and you guys now know how to get the general term, right? Simplifying the difference here, you can see that it is 2, and then the first term it is 3. So basically Tn is I'm sure you guys are tired of doing this because you now know how to get the general term is 3 plus n minus 1 times the difference is 2 there. So therefore your Tn there is equals to 3 plus 2n minus 2, resulting in Tn, which is 2n plus 1. Isn't it, guys? This is your correct general formula. So general term. So you already have the value of Tn there. Okay, then the value of n, what does it represent? It is the number of terms that you are adding. For example, guys, in this series, which in this sequence, which is 3 and 5 and 7 and 9, when we made the sum, we were adding 4 terms. Anish, we were adding 4 terms in this sequence. So the number of terms, which is n, most of the times we write as n. So this subscript n, the fact that we replaced it with 4, it means that we are adding 4 terms, the first 4 terms of this arithmetic sequence. So basically, if I want to write the sigma notation, I'm just now going to write my sigma. So I'm going to write this in a sigma notation. I'm just going to write my sigma symbol, the one that looks like an E. Then I'm going to write my general pattern, which is 2n plus 1 in a bracket. Then here I'm going to say n is equals to 1. We always start at n is equals to 1 for your arithmetic for your sequences and series. You start at that. And then here, what number am I going to put here, guys, on top of the sigma notation for this sum that I just did?
So you put 4.
Yes, I put 4. Okay, 4 there is the total number of terms that I'm adding. So basically the number that the n, the number on the top of a sigma symbol, is the what? It is the total number of terms that I'm adding. So this is the total number of terms that are being added. So this is your general term. So all you have to do is to find the general term and then express in sigma notation. Let's take this one that we were just doing here, guys. This one that we're just doing just now. Where is it? Okay, this one, guys. If I want to express this sum, okay, they say write down the series in a sigma notation. If I want to write this series, okay, it's fine. We'll come back to this one. It's a bit of an explanation. But basically, do you guys understand what and how to represent into a sigma notation? A simple sum and take it into a sigma notation. Is it hard?
No, sir.
Okay, let's go for another 10 minutes break. When we come back, we'll just do touch base on other problems on sigma notation. Hey Lapo, I know that you've been enjoying this wonderful video and most likely you've been enjoying watching this handsome face in front of you, but sorry ladies, I'm taken. I just here to tell you that Edu-ca-te is on the road to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. So please click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you get notifications whenever I post new videos. I want you guys to pass. Okay, so if you make my dream true, I reach 100k subscribers, I will make your dreams come true. I will even get you to varsity. I will get you with 7 distinctions. Yes. Before we went to the break, I was still explaining the sigma notation. Hey, at this point, I want you guys to listen to me very carefully, alright? Guys, we've been doing sums. Sums simply means that we are adding a set of numbers, a set of terms in a given sequence. In this case, I gave you a sequence, which is an arithmetic sequence, which is 3, 5, 7, and 9. This is an arithmetic sequence with a constant difference of 2. And I say that if you manually add these terms, you say that the sum of the 4 terms is 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9. You are making it a series, okay? And 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 gives you 24. All right, that's you calculating it manually. But how do you represent that using the sigma notation? For the sigma notation, I told you will need 3 things in total. If you are given this series of let's just say given this sequence, you will need to know the general term of the sequence, which is Tn. So Tn is the general term of the sequence. Okay, and then at the bottom, okay, you know how to calculate Tn, guys. That is the general term, and we calculated it. We found 2n plus 1. Then at the bottom, you are going to start with n is equals to 1. Why do you start with n is equals to 1, guys? Because these terms, as you were adding them, you started by adding the first term or the term at position number 1. Okay, so this n is equals to 1 is trying to tell us that the lowest position or the first position that you started adding was the term found. The first term was term number 1. Normally it was term at position 1. And in this case, the term at position 1, it is 3. I'm telling you that here, below the sigma symbol or below this E, what number do you put here? It is the initial position or the position that you started with. Okay, when you were adding these terms. In this arithmetic sequence, we started with the term found on position 1, and in this case the term found on position 1, it is this, which is 3. So the first position that we will start with is n is equals to 1. So n is equals to 1, it is our first position. So it means that we added from term n is equals to 1 until we reached which term. So we added term 1, term on position 2, term on position 3, as well as term on position 4. So the last term that we added here, it is term on position 4. That is the one that we put here. Okay, so in this case, for this example, this term on position 4, it is telling us that this is the total number of the terms that are being added. Okay, and then you are going to say that this sigma notation, this sum, it is all equals to 24. So you have represented it using the sigma notation. What's most important is for you guys to know that this n is equals to 1. It is trying to say that I've added from the term that is found on position 1 until the term that is found on position number 4. Yes, Sam?
So saying in the other way, I'm trying to say we can make the pattern using the sigma notation.
Yes, we can make the pattern using the sigma notation. So let's just say, okay, but we'll still give you in reverse later on. I still want you guys to get used to practicing using this simple one before we do it in reverse. So I'm going to take this problem here that we have, okay, question 2 of arithmetic series. You are given an arithmetic series here. It is 3, 5, 7, or 3 plus 5 plus 7. Oh, it's the same thing that I gave you guys. 3 plus 5 plus 7 until you reach what? Until you reach 103. Okay, so 2.1.1, obviously you guys now know how to determine the general formula. What is the general formula that we got when we determined this series? Because it is the same series, 3 plus 5 plus 7 until 103. What is the Tn that we found? I don't want to calculate it again because we did it, guys. This one, where is it? I can't find it anymore. Yes, we found 2n plus 1. Yes, we found 2n plus 1 as the general term because it's the same series, guys. It's like 3 and 5 and 7 and 9. So I'm just going to say that we've already calculated our Tn, and our Tn is 2n plus 1. So I'm going to say our Tn is 2n plus 1. Now the follow-up question says calculate the number of terms in the given series. Remember, guys, you already now know how to calculate the number of terms, right? The number of terms, you are trying to look for the position of the last term. The last term in this case, it is 103. So if you find the position of 103 or the value of n, when the Tn is 103. You're just going to say that where there is Tn, you're gonna put 103 is equals to 2n plus 1, and then that is going to give you 102 is equals to 2n, and then you divide both sides by 2, of course. What did you get there as the value of n?
1.
What?
51.
51. Yes, so there are 51 terms in this arithmetic series. There are 51 terms, and then the last term we know that is 103. Okay, cool. Now this question, the most important one. Hence, write the series in a sigma notation. Write the what? The series in a sigma notation. Okay, so we already know yes or if let's here.
Oh, so I was about to give you the answer, sorry.
Yes, may actually have the answer.
Oh, so it's gonna be, okay, must I start with the top of sigma or the bottom, or can I start with the middle part?
You will tell me whatever that you wanna start with, of course. Then I will write as you say. Yes.
The sum of Tn, so Tn is n plus 2n plus 1.
So here I'm gonna write 2n plus 1, right? Yes.
Yes. And then on the bottom of sigma, we're going to say n is equal to 1.
Why did you say n is equals to 1?
Because we're starting from position number 1.
Yes. What is the term on position number 1 for this series?
3.
3. Yes. We started adding these from 3. Yes. And then?
And then on top is going to be 51 because it's the sum of Tn for the values of k from 1 to 51.
Yes. So
by values of n.
Yes, so we're gonna add them from term number 1, which is 3, until the last term, which is term number 51, which is 103 in this case. Yes, Sam, what's your question?
So it's possible to see the number in front of sigma notation, maybe the number first and after the sigma notation.
The number first?
Yeah.
Like the number before the sigma notation?
Yes, sir.
No, just write it in this format. This is the accepted format. You must write it in bracket after the sigma notation.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Okay, and then what? Is it complete, guys, at this point?
No.
What is missing, Khalifa?
We must now just say then,
Sir, can Lekhotle speak louder?
Oh yes, may you please. Oh, you say may you, not can you. That's a proper English. It's may you please speak louder, Lekhotle.
May you
Yes.
We must say it is equals to 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 103 to show that it is the one for that arithmetic series.
Almost there, but unnecessary for this one. Guys, this is the sum. Okay, now let's just correct a bit of a few things here. This is the sum. Okay, this is the sum of the terms of this series from the position 1 until position 51. When we put the equals to, we want to find out what is the total sum. That's the thing. We want to find out what is the total sum. So what is the total sum here, at least, so that we can, okay, yeah, but you can just express it and say that this is equals to 3 plus 5 plus 7 until 103. But ideally here, I want you guys to give me the sum. How can we find the sum of these terms? If we add them up, how can we find the sum?
So are you not going to use Sn equals to n over 2a plus r?
Yes, we can use the TS. So this is Sn, because it's an arithmetic series. This is n over 2 into what? Into a plus L, and then you calculate what is the sum. In this case, we can just say yes.
I think we must first find the value of n.
The value of n. Don't we have the value of n? Don't
We already have it. It's 51.
We already have it. It's 51, guys. This is ending at this is ending at term 103. So automatically we have the last value is 103. So we already
Hear me out. Hear me out first. Say.
Yes.
I think we must say maximum minus minimum plus 1, which is going to be 51 minus 1 plus 1.
Okay, don't worry. I will show you when we get there. We'll see why do we need to do that. When do we need to do that? For now, we just want to express this in a sigma notation. Okay, I hear what you're saying. Don't worry. The top minus bottom plus 1. I hear what you're saying. But for now, we want to know how to express just a random series. When you are given a series and you turn it into a sigma notation. That one that you're talking about, you're going to do it when you're given a sigma notation and you have to calculate the series. Don't worry, we're still going to get there as well. Okay, so this is this is just going to give us what? Now, if we just substitute our n is 51 over 2 into our first term a is 3 and our last term is 103. You guys already know this formula, of course, right? So what is the value of Sn here, the sum of these terms? What do you get when you put on the calculator?
3,703.
So this is 3,703. So if we add, this is sum, or 2,000. Yes, this is the sum of 51 terms. You should write the 51 as a subscript. So this is 2,000 what?
703.
703. So it means that when we add up these terms, this is going to give us 2,000 and then 703. So this is going to be 2,703. You have expressed this, you have written this as a what? As in a sigma notation. Don't worry, we'll get to the expanding part. We'll see when do you need to expand, how do you expand, because this is like, it's still about sigma notation, but there are two ways of approaching this. Okay, so this is gonna be is equals to 2,703. You get your full 2 marks. Now, when do you need to do this top minus bottom thing? Yes, Sam.
So it's necessary to calculate ASN.
Well, okay, it depends on the marking guideline that they use, but yeah, sometimes they don't really calculate the SN. If they just say express it in a sigma notation, you will hardly be asked to calculate the SN. Yes, Orifa?
So can you please check the chat, the messages thing? So is what I said correct?
Yeah, it is correct, but don't worry, we'll go to the approach on, I already saw it, we'll go to the approach on how to actually do that. For now, we are just taking a series and we are taking, yes?
I think we use top minus bottom when n is equals to 0.
Don't try. Okay, you guys need to first understand what is n is equals to 0. Okay, so let's start here. You guys don't want to work with my pace. Let's just take it easy. For now, we are converting a series and we are writing it in a sigma notation. Don't worry. The top minus bottom, you will know when to use it. Now, I want to make sure that you guys understand. Do you know now, guys, how to write a sigma notation if you are given a series? Can you guys write the sigma notation when you are given a series?
Yes.
Yes, your n here is always going to start as n is equals to 1, because whenever you are adding these terms, most of the times you add them from the first term, the term occupying position n is equals to 1 until the last term. Now, let me show you where the top minus bottom works and how it works. Yes, Sam?
So let's say when arithmetic question series man, they gave us from third term back to this series start from the third or fourth term, therefore
exactly. That's when it changes. Okay, but before we get there, let's look at something quick so that you guys can have a better way of interpreting this. Okay, so what if I don't give you a series? What if I don't give you a series? Because here it was easy. You were converting a series and you were taking it and making it to be a what? To be in a sigma notation. What if I give you the sigma notation and I want you to be able to solve the sum? How will this question be asked? They can just give you a question A and then they give you this. And then they say, let's just start with n is equals to 1. And then maybe they say 2n minus 3. And then on top they write a 10. Oh, a 10 is too much. You won't be able to expand all of them. There are too many. Okay, but it's fine. Let's just say they give you 10. Guys, this is a question on its own. They won't tell you anything. This is a question. They are just giving you a sigma symbol with n is equals to 1 at the bottom and n is equals to 10 at the top. And they just give you something like this without asking any question. You guys must already know that this is a question. Yes, Orifa.
So you're going to sub in 1 in n, and then you sub in 2 and then 3 until 10.
Yes, but before we start that is when you guys need to make an analysis here, a careful analysis, right? So basically, for you to be able to find out, Uti, how many terms are you adding in total? For you to be able to find out, Uti, for you to evaluate this sigma, this sum, this is a question telling you to calculate the sum. In basic terms, it's telling you to calculate the what? The sum. So here you know that here the first, you're going to start at n is equals to 1, you're going to end at n is equals to 10. All right, so for you to be able to know how many terms are you going to have when you expand your series, you are going to say that the number of terms that you're going to have when you expand, the number of terms that you're going to have when you expand, that is when you say the top minus the bottom number, and then you say a plus 1. Basically, if n is equals to 1, it won't make any difference per se, because yeah, it's the normal one. But don't worry, n can change. This number is not always fixed. If they give you a sigma notation already, okay, if they give you a sigma notation already, you need to do this step. Number of terms that you're going to add or you're going to expand is going to be the top one minus the bottom one plus 1. You don't have to do that on this one, guys, because on this one you already know you are adding 4 terms, so there is no need to do the top minus bottom plus 1. Not necessary. Even on this other question, guys, even on this other question that we did just now, here I heard someone say we're going to expand here, like after writing the sigma notation, we are going to expand and we're going to write 3 plus 5 plus 7. No, we're not going to do that because it's already expanded. We are given a series and we're converting it into a sigma notation. Now, what if you are given a sigma notation and you have to evaluate it? Because a sigma notation simply means you have to calculate the sum. The sum of what? The sum of the terms of this sequence, of this series, having this as the general term. This 2n minus 3, remember it is our tn, it is our general term, 2n minus 3. So in this case, how many number of terms are you going to be adding? It's going to be 10 minus 1 plus 1. This one, it won't make a difference. Really, when n is equals to 1 at the bottom, it will not make any difference. This is still going to be 10 terms, as the number on the top suggests. So now this is when you need to expand your sigma notation into a series. You need to expand it into a what? Into a series. Because you are not given a series, you are given a sigma notation. Before you evaluate it, expand it. So you are adding 10 terms here. Starting from what? So to expand it, what do? You first substitute n is equals to 1 into this general term. So where there is n, I'm going to start by substituting n is equals to what? N is equals to 1. So this is going to be 2 times 1 minus 3. Do you see, guys, that I started by substituting n is equals to 1? Yes, Bonolo? Are you asking any question?
It's a mistake, sir.
Okay, so it's 2 times 1 minus 3. So where there is n, I substituted 1. But because this is a series, guys, what do? I add. So this is plus. I put a plus there. So after substituting 1, guys, what do I do to continue expanding my series?
Substitute 2, then
Now,
3,
yes,
then 4.
yes, I increase by 1. Remember, guys, that the position increases by 1 each and every time. From term 1, we substitute n is equals to 2. So the next position that we're going to substitute into this general term will be 2. So this will be 2 times 2 minus 3. Then you add again, at least have 3 terms here, plus again. The third position is going to be what? 2 times. Now, guys, I have already moved from 1 to 2. Now my n that I'm going to substitute here, what is it going to be for the third term?
3.
3. This is just going to be 3. So when there is n, I'm going to put 3, then minus 3. So once I have 3 terms, you don't need to continue doing this, guys, until whatever. So this will continue and continue and continue and continue and continue until the last term, guys. But this one is only 10 terms. The last term, how are you going to get the last term? The last term here, guys, it is going to be what? What is the value of n that you will substitute to get the last term?
10.
Is 10. So, guys, this 10 here, it is the largest value of n. That's the maximum, kind of a maximum value of n that you're gonna substitute. So to get your last term, so this 10 there, that's why most of the times we sometimes say that it's the number of terms, because it's more like the position of the last term. So you start by, okay, when we started expanding our series, the n that we substituted here, it was 1, okay, because we were starting at n is equals to 1, all right? Then the last value of n that we substitute into this is 10, because that's the value on top. Are we together, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Substitute 10 there. That's going to be 2 times 10 minus 3. You expand it. So this is the last number that you can have. And when you simplify this, this is going to be 2 times 1 is 2 minus 3. That's going to be negative 1 plus. This is 2 times 2 is 4 minus 3. That's going to give you positive 1 plus. This is going to be 2 times 3 is 6 minus 3. That's going to give you positive 3. Right? And then plus until the last term, which is going to be 2 times 10, which is 20 minus 3, which will give you 17. So you have expanded your sigma notation into a series. So when you are given a sigma notation, you need to expand it into a series. But when you are given a series, you need to compress it into a sigma notation. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Do you notice that, guys, this negative 1, this minus 1, it is the first term of the series. And so when they give you this question, they want you to evaluate the sum, to say what is the sum of this series. Okay, so we already know that this is the first term, and you guys can work out the difference between the terms. What is the difference between the terms? What is the common difference between the terms?
It is 2.
So the common difference, it is 2. When you say 3 minus 1, you get 2. When you say 1 minus negative 1, you get what? You get 2 as well. So basically, the common difference is 2. So from here, you can find your sum. Now you can say, therefore, the sum here, the sum of 10 terms, because there are 10 terms in total. Actually, we already found the number of terms by saying top minus bottom plus 1. That's how you find the number of terms that you are adding, provided a sigma notation. And we know that this is arithmetic. Can you see, guys, that this is arithmetic? Can all guys see that this is arithmetic?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is arithmetic. Okay. And Bonolo is asking, is it not necessary to calculate the last term? We do have the last term. We calculated it. It's 17. Didn't you guys say it? The last term is 2 times 10 minus 3.
No, so I'm asking if it's necessary to calculate the last term.
Well, you don't really need to calculate the last term unless you want to use the easier formula. It's not really always necessary. Depends. I'm sure you guys know that this formula has got two ways. You can say n over 2 into what? Into 2a plus n minus 1. Yeah, you can say 2a plus what? Plus n minus 1 times d. From this one, you don't really need to know what is the last term. So you just substitute that. We are calculating the sum of 10 terms here. So this is 10 terms over 2 into 2 times the first term, which is negative 1, plus 10, where there is n, I put 10, of course, minus 1 times the constant difference, which is 2. You just plug this all into your calculator. Whatever that you find here will be your answer for the question. Someone punch into the calculator.
So it's the same thing. It's going to be 17.
Okay, well, what is the sum of the 10 terms? Are they 17? Really?
So is it not supposed to be 17?
Guys, 17 is the last term, it's not the sum. How? It's 80. Hey guys, don't confuse the sum and the term. Those are not the same thing. Sum, it means I'm adding things. Okay? It's not the same thing. This 17 is the last term. It simply means that this is the last term that I have. But these plus signs, it means that I'm adding these terms. Add minus 1, plus 1, and plus 3. And you keep on adding them until you add the 17 itself. Okay, so that 17 is not a sum, guys. It is the value of the last term or the term at the end. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the answer for the question. That's how you simply analyze Amalotunjan. If you are given a sigma notation, you just simply expand it. That's the first thing. Now let's now do a scenario whereby you are given a sigma notation like this. Let me just use the same and say 2n minus 3. Use the same pattern, 2n minus 3. But I'm just going to tweak something a bit and change here from n is equals to 1, and I'm going to write n is equals to 2. And then now I'm not going to change the 10. This is still going to be the 10. Okay. So now guys, now you get worried with how I always know that n must be equals to 1 here at the bottom. Why is it equals to 2? Guys, here when n is equals to 1, it simply means that I'm adding this from the first term, or I'm adding this from the term found in position 1 until the term found in position 10, according to the first A sigma notation that we did. But now this one is changing. It is saying that I'm going to add the terms. I'm still adding the terms because it's a sigma notation, but I'm adding them from term number 2, from the second term, until term number 10. This one is still remaining term number 10. Expanding it is the same way. But now let me find out how many terms, guys, how many terms am I going to add in total? To find the number of terms that I'm going to add in total, I'm going to say top minus bottom plus 1. This top minus bottom plus 1 is just necessary for you guys to know how many terms you are adding. That's all, nothing much. The top is 10, the bottom is 2, then plus 1. So 10 minus 2 is 8, plus 1 is equals to 9. So it means that you are adding 9 terms. Now, in the first one, we were adding 10 terms. Do you remember, guys, when you say top minus bottom plus 1 on the first one, we found out that we were adding what? We were adding 10 terms. And if we calculate them, guys, they were 10. Like, they were 10. It was this one. This is term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5, term 6, term 7, term 8, term 9, and term 10. So we're adding all 10 terms and we got 8. But now we are only adding 9 terms because we are starting at n is equals to 2. We are not starting at n is equals to 1. Yes, Olive.
So for the number of terms, so do I have to say what you said? Like, do I have to write that out? Because, like, I just did in my head. I just say, okay, since we're starting at 2 and we have 10, that means 1 is missing. So the answer is 9.
Yeah, it's simply like that. You don't really need to write it because it won't help you with anything, by the way. Hey, are you guys aware that it won't help you with anything? this number 9, you won't substitute it anyway, by the way. You just finding out how many terms you have. Let me show you why I'm saying that.
In
Okay.
SN.
Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about, all right? Because you guys are gonna misinterpret things here. Let's expand the series in the same way, guys. Where there is n, we are going to start by substituting 2, right? So where there is n there, we're gonna start by substituting 2. So this is going to be 2 times 2 minus 3. Then we put our plus because it's a series. Remember, it's a sum. Then after 2, what am I going to substitute in the place of n?
3.
3. And it's 2 times 3 minus 3. And then you continue doing the same thing. And you continue doing the same thing. For the third term here, I'm going to substitute n is equals to what?
4.
4. You keep on increasing by 1 the position, okay, until you get the last term, if you want to do it, but you don't really need to do it per se, you know. Yeah, but for you to get the last term, you have to substitute the position 10 minus 3. If you simplify this, guys, this is going to be 2 times 2 is 4 minus 3 will give you positive 1 plus 2 times 3 is 6 minus 3. We already did this. It gives you 3. And then 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 minus 3 will give you 5. You add these until you reach the last term, which is still 17. You guys now know how to expand it. You just expand it. The first value of n that you substitute is the value at the bottom. But now let's find the sum. Let's now solve our thing and say now we want to use this formula of Sn. If I want to find the sum here, what is the value of n that I'm going to use? I want to hear from you guys. Be very careful. What is the value of n?
9.
9.
Yes.
Never. It won't work. It's like you're adding 9 terms in them. It's like, okay. If you're adding 9 terms here, let's see. Here, how many terms are we having? 1, 3, 5. Okay, let's just expand them one by one, guys. Let's just try to see. Yeah, but 9 terms can work. Yeah, 9 terms can work. 9 terms can work. Yeah, it's fine. You can still use 9 terms.
Gonna work.
Yeah. So you're finding the sum of 9 terms. Okay. Not complicate things. You're finding the sum of 9 terms because you are having these 9 terms, which is 1, 3, 5, and another one that follows, another one that follows, another one that follows until this one. So there will be 9 terms in total. Okay, because remember, guys, that this series, it was like this at first. It was starting at -1, but now we have just removed one value only. So it was 10. It had like 10 terms at first at number A, but now it has got only 9 terms. So you are finding the sum of 9 terms. Okay, the sum of the 9 terms, and on these 9 terms, you know that your n is going to be 9 there. Okay, it's fine. It's 9 over 2 into, you substitute. This is 2 times the first term here that you are having. What is it going to be?
So
it's going to be 1, guys. How you can see it, guys? You're not gonna use you're not gonna use the 1 from the old sigma notation, because here you are starting at n is equals to 2. The first value of n that you substituted here was 2, and you got a is equals to 1. So this is 2 times 1, and then you continue and say this is plus n minus 1. N is 9 minus 1 times your constant difference is still 2. You can still see, guys, there's still 2. It's still the same as sum of 9 terms will give you what?
81.
81. So basically you're going to get 81. So it means that when you add the 9 terms, you're going to get 81. So here the only difference here, guys, is that you are starting at n is equals to 2. So it means that in this original series, remember the original series, it was starting at n is equals to 1. You still remember, guys, the original series, n was equals to 1, meaning that at n you were putting 1 at first. So it means that the first value of the term you got, it was -1, and you added them until the 10th value. But now, since you are starting at n is equals to 2, it means that you are no longer adding from the first value. You are adding from the second value, as in like you are adding from the second term. And the second term here, it is 1. That is why when we wrote here our new series now, it is like 1 plus 3 plus 5 and so forth and so on. Do you guys see this?
Yes, sir.
Now my question would be, give me the value of, let's just see, as 10, as 9. No, that's gonna give you, okay, that's gonna give you an error. Okay, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, for now, this is just a brief understanding. So you guys are about to go to another break, which will be the last one, of course. 2.2 is for you guys. 2.2 says calculate n if given this sigma series is greater than 192. And 2.3 says the sum of the first and the second terms of a geometric. Okay, we'll leave out 2.3s for geometric series. We'll still do it. I want you guys to do this one, and you will probably send it whenever you will send it, because when you come back, we are doing geometric series, guys, because it's been long. We've been like doing arithmetic for 4 hours, millions of hours now. So let's go to a 20 minutes break now, because we are shifting to a new topic, geometric series and its sigma notation.